Good evening, crafters, and welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm Georgia, and so happy that you are with us tonight. My goodness, if you are here with us live, it's Thursday, June 30th. Where did the month go? Oh my goodness, tomorrow is July 1. Well, it's 7 p.m. Mountain Time, so now you know if you're live or not. My sister Maudie and I go on this crafting journey together, and we have so much fun. Oh, my nose itches. We have so much fun together, and she is over in the chat room. She wants to talk with you, answer any questions that you might have, and just chat. I hope y'all have a fantastic time watching our inspiration that we have for you. We are going to make a unique handmade card. And if you've ever done any research on making cards, even the Mayo Clinic says that it is a stress reducer. Don't you find that to be true? You can just go into your crafting room, your crafting table, and just start creating. And you just lose time, right? So we hope that as we share these inspirations with you tonight, you lose time and it goes fast and you're like, where did the time go? I just want to take a moment and see who is with us tonight so far. We have Linda, Carol, I'm just scrolling up, Stella. Thank you guys so much for joining us. From Connecticut, from Surprise, Arizona, where it's, oh my goodness, 103 degrees. We feel for you, we really do. We're having a nice cool day of 94, Maudie, 95, I don't know exactly what the temperature is. But we are going to show you how to make a unique handmade card. Now, it's not your typical card. It's a little bit different because it just has some base cards to it. But at the end, make sure you stay with us because I'm going to show you how to step it up. Maudie took this design and stepped it up to a whole new level. So I want you to see that. But let me show you what this looks like. You see, it's just a base card, right? But you open it up and there we have it. So cute. There's so much you can do. And you know something else that's great about this card is you get to use your DSP. How many of us don't want to use our DSP because it's just too darn cute, right? Well, let me tell you, we are using some DSP tonight that just really adds a punch to these cards. We think you're really going to like it. Hey, Ann. Hey, Susan. So happy that you're with us tonight. So I say, let's go down to the crafting table and let's get started. I first want to show you the DSP that we're going to use for this first card. That is so pretty. Now, this is called Rings of Love. And we used this on another card, but just fell in love with this DSP. And that's what we're going to use tonight. We're going to bring in cardstock of the, Orchid Oasis. And then we're going to bring in, for stamping, we're going to bring in Starry Sky and Coastal Cabana. Wait till you see that combination. Now, when we were creating this card, I was debating whether or not to use this beautiful DSP. Look how pretty that is. That may just have to be our next card. I'm not sure. But let me put this to the side. And let's get started. Now, I want to remind you that I will be going over the dimensions, but all you have to do is hop on over to creativemomentsbyg.com. Give me about an hour after our show, and I'll get those dimensions posted for you. The first thing we need to do is go ahead and cut a base card. And our base card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So here's this one. And then we're going to cut that beautiful DSP that I told you about. Okay, and of course this is going to be 4 by 5 1/4 because we're going to just simply mat that down on our paper. But what we need to do first is we need to create that little mechanism that's going to attach the front to the back base card. And so this is simply 2 1/2 by 1 inch, and you're going to score it at 1 1/2. Now we're just going to score this right here. And you know what makes it so sturdy is that this mechanism is not very long. And so that makes it really nice. And you want to make sure and lay it down before you put down your mat, right? Because you want to cover it up. So let's go ahead and just lay that down. Oops, boy, that glue went crazy. Usually we don't have that much glue coming out and I'm having to fight with it. I want to remind all those watching the rebroadcast, thank you so much for joining us. We're sorry that you missed the live, but we appreciate you hopping on, and we sure would appreciate a comment below the video and a thumbs up. That lets us know that you were inspired by our video. So now look at this. Here we're just going to lay this mat down. Oh, isn't it already just beautiful? Now we're going to make sure that we have enough glue here. We've already laid down our little mechanism, and let's just, I think I want this on this side. Let's just go ahead and center this on our base card. Okay, there we have it. Now, you also need to have a place to write because this is the inside, right? This is the back base card. So we have simply taken 2 nesting rectangles, and you can use whatever rectangles you want, but we had some nesting rectangles. I'm just going to show you very quickly. And we use these sizes right here. But it really depends on the size of your sentiment, right? If you have a really large sentiment, you're going to have to go with something maybe bigger than this. Well, I want to go ahead and stamp this. Oh, wait till you see the stamp that I'm going to use. Now, this is what we're going to use, botanical layers. And you're probably thinking, well, you know, I kind of saw that, but I didn't know what to do with it. When you see this, you are going to love this stamp set. Okay, and I'm also taking the sentiment from Simply Fabulous. There is beauty in everything, because I wanted something nice and big. Now, I'm going to stamp this in Starry Sky. And it is such a pretty font. Just go ahead and stamp that. Hey, Pat, welcome. Glow, good to have you. Look at that. See, I told you it was beautiful. Now I'm going to bring in Coastal Cabana because I feel like it kind of matches this right here, right? So I'm going to bring in the Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to put some of these beautiful plants in the background. Now, I kind of stamped this earlier just to see what it would look like, and I fell in love with it. So pretty. I'm going to go ahead and do one over the other. Let's see, I'll put it about right there. And now what's going to make this pop is I'm bringing in that Starry Sky, and I'm bringing in some other leaves, another plant. And so pretty. Put this right in. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Oh my goodness. Now I'm trying to see. I think I'm going to just put it right there. Now look at that. Don't you love that Starry Sky? Oh, I love it. And I love that big font. I'm in love with that big font. So now what we're going to do is we are simply going to adhere this together with some glue. Now you don't want to use dimensionals on this because it's going to be on the inside of the card right here. And you know something else you can do? If you don't want to double mat it, on mine, I didn't double mat it. But I thought it really needed that double mat to showcase this a little better. What do you think? We can compare the two in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue right here. And let's get this laid down. Oh, yes. This DSP is simply gorgeous. Okay. So now we're going to center this right here. And there's a little trick I'm going to show you about putting down the front base card. You've got to be really careful to cover this up. So let's go ahead and get that centered and just, once again, adhere it straight down. Don't use any dimensionals or anything because then it won't shut properly. Now, I want to invite everyone to sign up for our newsletter. Oh my goodness, we included a fantastic July 4th recipe that we are making this weekend to take to my brother's little party. His daughter is coming in from Austin, and so Maddie's doing the cooking. She's cooking this fantastic recipe. So the way to get to our newsletter, if you haven't already signed up, is go over to creativemomentsbyg.com and click on newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter, and we'll make sure you get that newsletter tonight. We'll get it right out to you so that you can see that. Okay. And also what's so cool about the newsletter is that, have you ever wanted to have a fun fold class just right at your fingertips? Well, we actually have that in our newsletter. We have links for all the samples that we use to create our paper pumpkin. We went crazy with fun folds. And you know, it's just right at your fingertips. You're going to love it. So you'll want to sign up for that. Okay, this is actually the back of the card, right? This is the inside of the card. Now I want to show you the difference. What do you think? Do you think it needs to be matted or not matted? This has that extra matte on it, and this doesn't. I think if I had put like the same color, Old Olive, it would have made this pop a little better. What do you think? Okay, so we have this right here. Next, we're going to go to the front. We're going to move to the front of our card. Now, this one's a little bit smaller, and it's considered the front flap. And it is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then we have our mats once again, and those are simply the nested rectangles that I showed you earlier. And it really all depends on what you're going to do to the front of your card, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this down right on the front. And let's just get this laid down. I'm going to do that right there. And then we want to make sure that we hide this, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to put this right here. Now, remember what I told you. I was going to show you a little trick. And it's this one right here. And let's see. Okay. We are going to make sure that it covers the front of this right here. So go ahead and bend this over. Put a little bit of glue, making sure that it's not going to smudge out and get on anything else. And then make sure this goes right over it. So here we have it, centered. I can still wiggle it a little bit. Okay, and there we have it. I dropped something. Okay, so here we have this. Now, the way that since I don't have a rectangle that's smaller than this, it would be way too small. I mean, larger than this. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and then I'm just going to cut around it and make my own border, right? So let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and stamp this just a little bit before I glue it down, just in case, right? I always like to stamp first in case we have some crazy thing. So we said there is beauty in everything. So let's see. Just saying hello, I think, is too big for this, but let me check it out. Yep, too big. So let's see. Let's celebrate. I think we could say that. Let's celebrate. Or you know what? We could say from here, thinking of you. I like that even better. So we're going to go ahead and put Thinking of You right in the center. Let me get a block. And I'm going to go ahead and use that Starry Sky again to give us that deep, rich color. Tap, tap, tap. And just center it right there. Hold it for good contact. And there we have it. Now we do need to do a little bit of coloring, right? We need to have something on the front. So let's go ahead and bring in our colors again. I'm going to go ahead and bring in that Coastal Cabana. Let's see, and bring that right up there. Bring it over to the side. And then I will bring in just a little bit of that leaf. Look at that. How pretty is that? Oh, I just love the color coordination on that DSP. I agree with you, Patricia. I like the matte. I think the matte really makes it pop. So let's go ahead and lay this down. Just a little bit of glue. Now I am going to make another card with you, but the next one will be sunflowers because I love sunflowers. Now I'm just going to bring in my trimmer and trim this right up. So let's just, I'm measuring right here on the, you can't really see that, let's see. I'm measuring right here on the canal the distance that I want to make sure it's about the same. And then at the bottom again. And there we have it. We didn't have to use a rectangle, right? Now let's go ahead and put this right here. Now this one I am going to raise up on dimensionals because I think we need a little bit of height. So let's go ahead and get some dimensionals going on all four corners so that when we send it through the mail, it won't get squished. And you know, one of the things that we're doing is we're getting our box ready for Operation Gratitude. Every couple months we send our extra cards to our soldiers. And you know, we were reading and they said that they actually send 100,000 cards every year because they send 100,000 little goodie boxes to the soldiers and they include a card in each one. So if you ever have any extra cards, Maudie will put that link in the chat room so that you know where to send those cards to. So let's go ahead and just line that up right there. Now look at that. I just think that is so pretty. There is beauty in everything. And now we need to go ahead and put a white piece of paper on the back because that's where you're going to do your writing, right? And so just to make sure, this mat is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we need it to be 5 1/4 by 4. And we can just leave that blank and put it right here. There we go. And we will be finished with our first card. Now remember, I said stay with us to the end because Maudie has taken this to a whole new level and created an absolutely beautiful card. So you'll want to make sure and see that. Okay, so we have plenty of room to write. We have this beautiful flap that is very sturdy, but yet very different. This is a very unique handmade card. One of those cards that's so special. You can make it in whatever color that you know your person is going to love. And so now let's move into our last card. Okay, so I have everything pre-cut, but not stamped and colored. We're going to do a little bit of coloring together, but it won't be hard. So now remember, these are our back pieces, right? Now look at that. That's some fun DSP, right? That's from Design a Daydream. And you know, I love stripes, right? So I had to pick stripes. I'm really, you know, pastel colors, they're not my favorite. I like bright, vibrant colors. Thank you so much, Anne. Okay, so here it is. Oops. You know what? I'm going to leave a little spot right there. Why? Because we need to connect this little strip, right? So let's go ahead. We have it 2.5 by 1, and we're going to simply score it at 1.5. And then I'm going to stick it under that mat so that we don't see it, right? So let's go ahead and do that. No problem. It's able to do that just fine. Look at that. You would never know. There we go. Okay. Now on this one, this is going to be where we're going to write. So we're not going to decorate it. We're just going to lay this down. And this is going to still be just the 2 base cards put together with that little mechanism. And I say that because I'm preparing you for Maudie's card so that you can see it. I need to watch your Paper Pumpkins video again. Yes, you do, Glow. We want you to watch it again. We had so much fun with this paper pumpkin. We didn't think we would, but when we started working together and laughing and having a good time, we just went crazy and had a great time. Okay, so this is the inside of your card. We still double matted it just to give it that pop that we think we need. Now on the front, let's see here. Here's going to be this. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, and now I'm going to glue it right here, right on the front. So let's just put a little bit of glue right here. And remember, you need to center it over this part. You want to make sure you do that because you don't want to see what's underneath. It's kind of like a surprise, right? Okay, so there we have it. And now we're going to lay this down right on top, and it covers that perfectly. And then we are going to decorate the front. Oh, don't do that. Okay. It'll take just a minute. Let's see. No, I'm not, Maudie. She says I'm building it up too much. No, I'm not. Okay, so there's the inside, there's that, and now here's the front of the card. But you know I said sunflowers, right? So let me show you. We are using Celebrate Sunflower, but we're going to use the little baby one. So let's go ahead and stamp that. And I'm going to stamp it in early espresso so that we can bring in our blends and color it. So let's go ahead and do that. See if I can get a good ink going on. Let's see. Do that. Oh, look at that. Loving that. That's going to go on the front. Now we're just going to put a little, poking out just a little bit right there. We're going to bring in some leaves. And we're going to go ahead and stamp those in Old Olive. So we have Old Olive right here for our leaves. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put this one right here, just so that we have it. And I'm going to stamp this right here. Yes! And now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my sentiment. Now, if you're not sure, you should always stamp your sentiment first, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to fit right there, so I don't have to worry about it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do it in brown because it matches. So let's just do that. Tap, tap, tap. And, oh, this is another beautiful saying. Look at that. Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. I love that. Okay, now let's do a little bit of shading. So we're going to bring in Pumpkin Pie and our Dark Mango Melody. And we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to start with the pumpkin pie, just going over that just a little bit. And then we'll come back in with that yellow. And I'm just going over where they've already showed us where this shading should be, right? So it's not like we have to come up with it ourselves, but it will give us some definition. Okay. Now I'm just going to go in. I don't know if that brush stroke is going to work. It's like I told you last time when we were together. Sometimes the brush nib is already used up so much, kind of like this one, that I have to go to the other side. So we'll just do that and get that colored. And you know, that pumpkin pie just gives it a hint of shading. And you know, if you were to go over that pumpkin pie, you're going to lighten it up because it is alcohol based. And so you don't want to do that if you don't have to. Unless, of course, it's too dark and then you want to lighten it up. So we'll just go over this and then we'll be ready to do our seeds. So cute. You know, we get so busy with the new stamps that we forget those that are just we've loved for a whole year. I have loved this sunflower stamp. I don't know if you have it, but so pretty. Okay, let's get that colored. And take just a minute. I'm going to see. That it might touch someone. I know, you know, unique handmade cards. It's like someone said, I think it was Glow maybe a couple videos ago, you know, they are so special. It shows your loved one that you took the time to create something by yourself and maybe use their colors that they love, right? Okay, so we have that. And now we're just going to come in with our Parakeet Party green, and I'm just going to very lightly go over the leaves just to give it some depth. Okay, because we already have it stamped where the shading is. But boy, does this Parakeet Party really perk it up. Look at that. And now, once again, the way we're going to create this border is we just need to glue it down. Actually, yes, we're going to glue it down. And then I'm just going to use my trimmer to cut around it. Give me exactly the border that I want. Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. I tell you what, the other night we had so much fun on our Zoom meeting. So many wonderful ladies. It was just wonderful. Maudie and I just feel so blessed to have finally met you face to face and talked with you. We just appreciate that so much. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and set this up on dimensionals. Where are they? Okay. I'm going to get them in the corners, and once again, one in the middle to protect it when we ship it. And you know, when you do the Operation Gratitude, they have real specific cards, you know, happy birthday cards, blank cards. So they do have some restrictions on what you can do because they want to meet everyone's needs. So we certainly understand that. Okay. There we go. Look at that. Okay. So you'll have to tell me between these. Let's do these three cards first. Tell me which is your favorite. Do you like this beautiful orchid color, the sunflower, or just the plain happy birthday? Now, I know I believe Patricia said, yes, she likes the matting better. I agree. Matting really makes that pop. But of these three colors, before we go to that final card that we want to show you, which one do you like the best? Let me know. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, sunflower, sunflower, sunflower. Okay. I'm loving that sunflower. And look at how we did the pumpkin pie, the shading. Really so easy to do, but my goodness, isn't that pretty? Okay, so now for the big reveal. Here is the stepped up version. Now, Maudie cut out these beautiful flowers using, I think it was Happiness Abounds. And she cut that out. She put a triple layer here with an oval. Isn't that beautiful? And the colors, of course, is DSP. We are in love with this DSP. And then you open it up, yes. And you have a little place that you can write, of course. But wait, there's more. Now, she just added that to the top of a card. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful? What she did is she took what we did and she added it to the front of a card. So you have even more room to write. And I'm telling you, cutting those flowers out and adding them to a 3-step oval right here. Oh, I just think, can you beat those beautiful colors? I don't think so. I think that is so pretty. And then look at this DSP. I guess this DSP is on the back of this one, but I'm not sure. But Maudie can probably tell you if it is or not. But there we have our beautiful cards. We just love this unique handmade design. I think whether you put it on top of a card or you just do this simple version right here, I think either way is quite pretty. And guess what? We have so many of you who decide to do the card and then put it on our website, put it on Facebook. We love to see what you do because we learn from you. You know, I know you learn from us. We learn from you and we are inspired by you. And so we certainly appreciate your time with us tonight. And thank you so much, Patricia. Catherine, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us from Canada. Oh, we're loving it. We want to remind everybody that we will have all these cards up on Pinterest. If you haven't checked out our Pinterest, well, we encourage you to get on over there to our Pinterest because we have so many cards that you can just get some inspiration from. And we hope that you take a moment and share our video with your friends, family, people that love to craft like we do, because we're trying to grow our channel. And if you were inspired tonight, we sure would love a thumbs up. We just appreciate you guys spending your time with us. Now remember, next Tuesday is our first show in July, and we're calling it Technique Tuesday. So we're going to show you a fantastic technique that you can use to create another fun card. And all of July, we are having Surprise Patrol. So we will be giving gratitude gifts to randomly selected people just to show you our gratitude for spending time with us. We want you all to go out and have a beautiful July 4th with your family and friends. Be safe. Enjoy your time together. Make those Kodak moments. And we hope to see you next Tuesday at 10 o'clock. Take care. Bye-bye.